Hi, bit of a dull day today, very warm. Been out on the bike along the wander with my old friends. Spent a few pounds on ordering paint. I was watching Patrick Leigh Greaves earlier today, and he uses. I've been using Cotman and pushing them because they are very good. They're cheap. If you're starting out, they're not intimidatingly expensive. But I'm looking at his work and look at Alan Owen's, and their paint is much more saturated. But I don't want to lash out on really expensive artist quality paints because I only really spend the time demonstrating. So what I've done, I've ordered half a dozen of Jackson's own brand. Now I'll let you know how I get on with them. That Patrick Leigh Greaves uses, and they're more expensive than the Cotman, of course, but they're nowhere near as expensive as the artist quality in Winsor & Newton or Dale Rowney. And they come in 21mm tubes, which is very good. And I've ordered a couple of packs of the empty pans, the full pans, so I can load them up myself and substitute some of these colours here for some artist quality. So there we are. Right, I've roughed in this bit of a villagey scene. I lent on Seago for bits for this, but I'm not going to copy it. I've added the church and I've added these trees and I've added bits and pieces. So it's not a copy, it's just inspired by. Okay, so I'm going to wet the paper. This is a goat hair mop. I'm just going to go around the buildings. And I'm using Arches. It's a lovely paper. It's £140 weight, and it's rough. It's really nice. Right, that'll do. Let's come down there, bit down there, fill in there. Okay. So I'll put a bit of a wash of raw sienna. See, I've ordered a raw sienna. See, it's very weak. It's all right if it's fresh, but when you're scrubbing the pans, it's hard to get a decent bit of colour. So we just put a little bit of a wash and a bit of alizarin in there. Let's go over all of it back. Okay, now we'll mix a bit of. See then, that's Windsor. Look out. Well, I think it's Windsor. And a bit of cobalt. And the Windsor is artist quality, and it is saturated with colour. So let's. Put a bit of red. Bit of light red. The light red, that's artist, that's student quality, but that is very saturated. See, some of the colours are good in the Windsor, in the Cotman Winsor Newton. Go right down with that. Put in a bit of a cloud. So a bit of cloud, so a bit of light red, and a bit of that blue. Just dob in. This brush I bought, it's a very nice mop. It's Pro Arts, and it's a number 6. So I've got quite enough aches and mops and stuff. It's just a few colours. Okay, let's just get that in there. While the paper's wet, you can do sort of anything with it. Okay, now while that's drying off, I'll go down with a bit of a bit of, let's try a bit of lemon yellow. Oh, every sympathy goes out to the family of those young people that were murdered by some religious fanatic yesterday at a music concert. Okay, now into that we can put some warm umber and some sienna. So you have to scrub these colours. And I'll add a bit of ultramarine to them. Let's get some and some burnt sienna. Neat. Okay, that's just the initial wash in there. Right, okay, I'll give that a bit of a dry. Clean the brush. It's a nice brush, this one, for that. But I've got all these mops now. I'll end up in the poorhouse. Got 3 number 6s, but that's the first one I bought, the Asabi in France. That was expensive. It's great quality. That's the other one I bought from Pro Arts, that one, and that one. But this one's got longer hairs. It's a better brush altogether. And this is a number 4 I bought. But my main one is this number 6, the Pro Arts Renaissance Squirrel Mop. I'm going to dry this now, so take your headphones off. Go. Right, and I'm going to put a bit of a background. This is a bit of a Norfolk scene again. I did one yesterday. I love Norfolk. I've been there quite a few times over the years. So use a bit of that, and a bit of red. What's that like? Just a bit of prefer cobalt. So let's just put in a bit of background. And play around some of that tree there. Right, we'll have a bit of darker colour in that, so it's just a bit of this and a bit of that. You need quite a bit of water on the mop for it to work. If it dries, it doesn't. The bristles don't hold together. So I do a bit more of that and a bit of that. But use sparingly this Windsor blue. It's very strong. Okay, so we have the closer tree there. So let's have a bit of sienna. Oh, look at that! It's really not liking it, is it? But I'm just trying to get used to this colour. Let's have a bit of cadmium yellow in there. Okay, just put that in. Summer day. Just go in there with a bit of tree colour. Don't forget to have some sky holes. Just the flick of the brush. And here we'll have the same. Okay, now we want a nice dark shadow colour. Right, bit of red, bit of cobalt I think. Okay, that's one tree there. All we've got to do is just fill in with some trunk. And we'll do the same over there. Bit of blue, bit of red, light red that is. You can use ultramarine as well. Right, I don't want that too dark in this, I will put some chunks and things in there. And then when that dries a bit I can add a bit more to it. I'm now going to put in the colour. So the roof of that spire and that church would be, I reckon, well the lights, let's have the light, oh where else should we have the light? The light sort of coming from this side, so that would be illuminated and everything on the other side would be dark. That would be half lit. So let's put a bit of light grey on that roof. So let's get in some ultramarine. And some red. And we'll just carefully, don't mask you. Right, shadows can go in last. Okay, and we'll put a burnt umber side to this. Trying to get nice edges there. Okay, so that would be, let's put a little bit blue on that one behind it. Because that's distant, we'll show distance. Just try not to hit your wet paint. Okay, so that, put that in the same. So when the darks go in, right, so burnt sienna, clean burnt sienna. Rust. And we'll put some blue in there, or grey for the bits that aren't rusty. Okay, we can put a little bit of red, just a touch here and there, just to illuminate the rusty roof there. And we'll put that underneath, we'll have that quite dark, just a grey. Whoops, gone a bit wild there, got some So I'm going to wait. Right, that would be a bit of half shadow there because that is, I'll do that in a minute. So this side would be quite light, so we'll get the nice light. I'll wet it, I think. Get all that nice and wet there. A little bit of wet in there, bit of wet in there. So that the paint will move when we touch it. And that'll be the same. Right, okay, so bit of sienna, bit of red, it's a bit like that. See what happens when you put the paint on wet, it moves. We're putting some burnt umber in that, I think. Okay, and we'll have lighter red on the other, slightly bluer. Just leaving a slightly white margin on there. Right, that's lit, so we'll have a little bit of sienna in there, I think. Sort of a stone. And that, we can put a nice little bit of red on that roof down the corner here. Okay, I'm going to put in some darker stuff on there now, so we'll have some Hooker's green and a bit of ultramarine, a bit of sienna. Can't see the tip. It's quite a nice green, that one. It'll dry probably a lot lighter, so, but the sienna just gives that a nice edge. Okay, let's put some of that in here. Nice shadow. Right, now in there I'm going to put quite a dark colour, so I'm going to use those. Just want to highlight the outside of that building. Sort of like a yew tree, get yew trees near churches, don't you? Okay. And by the side of that, I'll put some of that blue that I started with. If I can still find some. Right, now I'll let that dry, and I'll go back to this foreground here to keep that as simple as possible. So we want some dark green, so hookers, sienna. See that this hookers green is very, very weak. It's Cotman. I'm not criticising Cotman at all, because I've used it for years, but I'm beginning, with these brushes, I'm beginning to realise that I might not be doing myself any favours, especially using these sort of mops. Oh, I've got to put a bit of paint on that, haven't I? A bit of yellow on top, a bit of yellowy green. Okay. I'll go back to that bit there, so that's in shadow, that bit, but half lit. I can put some shadow, gosh, I don't know. I've got a lovely point on this, so I've got to use it. All right, so we've got a bit of sienna. To the way over there. Okay. Now I want a really good dark, so I'm going to use a bit of Payne's grey and a bit of that blue. And we'll put a shadow under there. Bit of shadow. Down here. Right, I want that dark down there. Oops. To clean up a little bit. But put the cross on the top here. I think I'll rigger now. Oh no, that's drying now. Let's put a bit, some windows in there. Right, got a bit of a umber. Right. Well, I might be able to do it if I do a dark grey. So ultramarine and that light red. Whoops. I'm going to go wrong with that, but that's how I'm going to use a rigger. Because I can't see the point always. A nice thick chunk in that one. So that's picking up quite a good paint. Look at these trunks here thick, because that base is very, very nice and juicy. Bit of shadow there. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Now we'll do something in here, something similar. See that light red, you don't need anything stronger than that. That is such a great quality. As a Cotman, we don't really want to change much of that, so let's just get some of this in here. I am one for thick chunks, realising that massive trunks and trees, branches with loads of summer greenery need a solid foundation, and with oak trees you get that. I'm going to beef that up down there, so I won't worry about that for a moment. Right, I need to put a bit of texture on there, I think. Right, let's get my. I'll get my number 6 back again. Squeeze out a lot of the water, just dry it a little bit, and we'll have some of that. Just bury the base of that chunk there. Okay. I've kind of done it again, you know. I've put the light side of the trees on the side, and I've had the light coming from this way. Well, okay. Just adding a bit of texture to this. And bit of texture on this, so we want some darker colour on there, so it's a fairly dry brush. Okay. And there's something I don't like, I've gone over too far with that edge, so I'm just going to see if I can lift it out. A little bit anyway. Bit better. Probably just a little bit too dark there. Take that out. Okay, well there we are, we've got another Norfolk scene. I wouldn't say it's one of the best, but put a couple of dark green just texture, that's all, nothing more than that. I'll put a mount on it and we'll have a little look. See, tape on the top. There, that's not too bad, is it? Right, let's bring the camera around a little bit. So there we have a little village, Norfolk village, doesn't exist. Let's get as light as we can. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye bye.